So imagine you spent $5,000 on your PC setup and you're thinking to yourself, man, I would really like to have the best version of Windows because you're a scrub and you really don't know anything about like all those kernels and you don't want to deal with the YAWSL, the Ubuntu's. It's not your cup of tea. You just want a simple, clean user interface because you want to do some practical things like editing, drawing, and making content, but you want to make sure that you're just not being bogged down by bloatware. And the monopoly that Microsoft has on this space is kind of diabolical. MicroSlop, as I like to know them, can't help themselves because before they decided to introduce this nonsense, which is the Copilot beta for screenshotting your screen, which sounds like the biggest honeypot trap I've ever heard in my life. Besides them trying to introduce that garbage to us, they've now tried to insist on forcing us to update and upgrade every chance you get. But what if you like it the old way? What if you like the slow quality pumps you used to get because it was good enough for you and more importantly, it got the job done? Because in the world where everyone's trying to force AI down your throat, some people just want to bend over and take it the old-fashioned way. I'm one of those people. So today, I want to talk about the garbage that MicroSlop has been creating for us and making it practically unusable because it is we're literally now to the point where older models of their own product is outperforming their current one. And that begs the question, where is the quality control in MicroSlop? I have a feeling that a lot of those resources have gone into making AI the super beast that it is, and you'd be hard pressed not to, seeing as how you're spending upwards of $200 million and you've already crossed $1 billion as far as investing in it. So let's look into this. Let's try and better understand why Microsoft Windows 11 is so bad and what has come before it and is doing better than it currently, right? Let's talk about it. Clap it. I feel like if I talk too much shit about Microsoft, they're going to turn my computer off. Because every time I reset my computer for an update, there's a part of my mind that says, is this the last time I'm going to be able to work on my comic book? Is this the last time I'm going to have the chance to save? Let me go ahead and back up all this data real quick. That's what be going through my mind. But this is the case right now. So I want to look at this story and we'll probably catch a little bit of this video. So Microsoft platform worse than Microsoft 11 performs worse than older Windows version in nearly every benchmark. Microsoft markets Windows 11 as its fastest, most secure version of the operating system, but users often complain about it being slow, bloated, and buggy. A new speed test now suggests that there are many more truths to those complaints than Microsoft would like to admit. Windows 11 also came in the last place in performance. Damn. YouTuber TrigrZolt, ran several tests pitting 6 generations of Windows XP, Windows 11 against Windows XP to Windows 11 against one another to see which one can complete a range of tasks the fastest. Surprisingly, Windows 11 came dead last in most of the tests, including boot speed, battery life. What?
Back at it again. Today we'll be speed testing every generation of Windows released since 2001. This includes Windows XP, Vista, 7, 8.1, 10, and of course the newcomer Windows 11. Every operating system here has the latest Windows updates, latest service packs, latest feature updates, and every single one is...
shout out to this user. Make sure you guys go watch this video, like, share, and subscribe. I put it in the comment section and the description.
This is by no means perfect. There is going, but I tried to be as accurate.
Oh, it's too low? Let me turn it up.
Myself into insanity, though it feels like I already did. Anyways, enough of me rambling. Let's go ahead and start up with the startup test. Now, I tried my best to make this frame perfect in the editing, and it'll be interesting to see what the results are here. The 3 latest versions of Windows have a technology called fast boot, which the name makes Windows boot much faster, while the older 3 have the advantage of supposedly being less resource intensive since they were released in a time when specifications were not as high as they are today. With that being said though, you can already see that Windows 8.1 won the startup test, and you'll see that it actually had quite a large lead as compared to the other operating systems. This is probably because it is the oldest version of Windows to have fast boot enabled, meaning that as compared to 10 and 11, it had less resources to load. You can call Windows 8.1 unpopular all you want, but it seems to also have a level of polish and stability that we don't really see with other versions versions of Windows.
God
Anyways, in a
damn.
surprising turn of events here, we can see that Windows 10 and Windows XP actually started up at pretty much the exact same time. You don't really see a lot of that, especially for the age gap between these two versions.
Damn.
Not too long later, Windows 7 starts up here as well, and here's another thing that surprised me: the gap between Windows Vista and Windows 7. These two operating systems look and function so
Why is the
similarly
second
that I was
computer not
actually
even turning
surprised about
on?
the gap in startup between these two versions. In dead last, we have Windows 11. I honestly thought Fastboot would give this operating system a slight advantage here compared to the older three,
I feel
but
like
that didn't really seem to be the case here. You can see that it's actually struggling.
I feel
to
like
load the
Windows
taskbar
11
right now. Windows
turned
11
on
is running to
faster.
be the case here, operating these two versions. In dead last, we have Windows 11. I
This
honestly
one's
thought
on.
Fastboot would give this operating system a slight advantage here compared to the older
I
three,
call bull.
but that didn't really seem to be the
Windows
case.
11
You can
turned
see that
on
it's
first,
actually struggling
before
to
that
load the
one.
taskbar right now. Now Windows
I feel like that's come on now. This one definitely turned on before this one. Unless for some goofy ass reason he has these listed out of order.
11 is running on unsupported hardware here, just so everyone is aware, but it's kind of necessary if we want to compare it with an older operating system such as Windows XP. Anyways, next is storage, keeping in mind that all these operating systems have relatively the same amount of programs preloaded. Again, not exact, but we can see here that it is not exactly a linear trend here. Windows XP takes the crown here, not too surprising since it's the oldest and has less resources to load. But Windows 7, yeah, it seemed to take up the most storage out of the bunch here. Windows Vista, 10, and 11 being relatively the same here, and once again Windows 8.1 performing really well here, coming in second place. Next up is RAM management. The first part of this test I decided to measure the memory usage while nothing was running in the background, again trying to be as accurate as possible because there is some fluctuation.
Diabolical. Just turning your shit on needs 3.3 gigabytes. It's just so bloated. It's just a big fat chunky boy. Oh, you can't put the fork down, you piggy. Oh, you big belly bastard. Put the fork down. I'm down 30 pounds. It's because I stopped taking MicroSlop. That's crazy. And like one of the first things you're told to do whenever you get a new Microsoft setup is just to go in and turn off all the automatic starts. All the boot turn on as startup. Big back activity, exactly. Just big back activity. My goodness. I don't need to see nothing else from this. The battery life I'm super interested in.
And I loaded a bunch of the same programs on every device and made sure that any auto sleep and battery saver settings were turned off as well. All of these were unplugged at full battery capacities. Some were showing as 99%, which I don't think is accurate. They all seem to be at 100%. But anyways, after cutting the footage here, we can see that the first operating system to die out here is Windows 11, unfortunately.
Wow.
But not too long later, we can see that Windows 7 comes in second last. Could be because of the Aero Glass interface, I really don't know. I say that because Windows Vista comes a close fourth. We're gonna have to do some waiting on the rest of these operating systems. By the way, this battery was actually replaced some time ago and it doesn't have a lot of cycles since the previous one actually started failing. And there we go, Windows 8.1 comes in third, and not too far behind we see that Windows 10 comes second, and to my personal surprise, Windows XP actually won this test. I say personally because I found
it's just proof that we built things better earlier. Antiques are great, right? This is the crown jewel for me, right? While everyone's over here trying to figure out where they're gonna hear their next album or what next song they're gonna listen to or where their music is and where music isn't, the C has provided for me. The C has provided for me. I want to do a deep dive into like piracy and why we need to bring it back, because these corporations have gotten too rich. Hands in the air. You guys are too rich. Maybe we need a little some of that back. But don't steal anything, y'all. Don't go to jail because of a YouTuber.
Windows XP doesn't usually do too well in terms of battery, so this was a pleasant surprise. Also, here are the final times for the battery test. Let's go to the other spectrum and perform a video editing test. I apologize. Let's go to the other spectrums. Next, let's move on to audio editing.
Actually, I wanted to see
this test. I say personally because I found that Windows XP doesn't usually do too well in terms of battery, so this was a pleasant surprise. Also, here are the final.
So basically it was out by a few seconds. Video editing, I would never personally edit on a laptop, so that's not me. Applications opening, that's an interesting
Some
one.
application opening tests, starting with File Explorer. Not too different between 7, 8.1, 10, and XP. A bit of delay with
How
Windows
is it
Vista, but a
last still?
significant delay with Windows 11. It's important to note that the
Golly.
Windows 11 File Explorer in particular is using a mix of modern and classic UIs that could be impacting performance here as well. Next up, let's move on to some classic Windows accessories such as MS Paint. Again, here we see that though there's a minor delay between Windows XP, Vista 7, 8.1, and 10, they're all about the same. The problem here is, once again, Windows 11. And this is because MS Paint on Windows 11 was rebuilt like a modern Windows application, like one you would install from the Microsoft Store. Not to mention that it also has extra features, most notably its new AI features.
Yeah,
Next up is
AI
Calculator,
feature.
and here, same deal. We can see that Windows 8.1 and below are using the old style Win32 calculator, and they on to website loading tests. Note that this can have quite a bit to do with my network speeds. First loading an image, the 3 newer operating systems actually loaded this faster than the 3 older ones. Moving on to the Google Images search page, pretty scattered results, nothing really to comment on here.
So with the storage of images, that would be like SRV, or like if those were cached already. So like before you click on something, it already loads up. But the fact that Google didn't load up faster on the new one kind of sends a bell to my head, because it's like, ooh, Microsoft loading up a Google product. Might be some bias there.
Except Windows 11 was last. Finally, something a bit more intensive, I guess you could say, the Microsoft login page. Again, nothing really to comment on here, except again, Windows 11 came last.
Tragic.
Now let's see which operating system can move a large zip file the fastest from a USB flash drive. Petting the footage here, Windows 11 was so close to getting first place here, but Windows 10 just barely outdoes it. Other than that, pretty much straight down the line here, older being slower. Windows XP this time having a much more significant gap as compared to the rest of the operating systems here. Next, let's do a Malwarebytes scanning test to see which one can do a vulnerability scan the fastest. Again, I apologize, but the 64-bit version of Windows XP doesn't actually support any version of Malwarebytes to my knowledge, but the 32-bit version does, so yeah. No results for Windows XP this time. But other than that, each laptop is running the latest compatible version that works with every operating system from Windows Vista onwards. Windows 11 though was giving me an extremely hard time because it kept auto-updating and uninstalling and reinstalling. Anyways, now it's time for the benchmarks, starting with CPU-Z. Note that XP and Vista had to run a slightly older version of CPU-Z, version 2.09, but it shouldn't be too different here. In single-threaded performance, we can see that roughly older seems to be better here. Windows XP scoring almost a 300. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with Windows 8.1, and what I'm more surprised about is how close 7 and Vista are and how close 10 and 11.
I don't know if I hold as much weight on this, because you're measuring based on what it could do for its time, and things only get further optimized the longer things go. So the longer something's been available, the more resources be out. Like that's very much so like trying to find documentation on Python and JavaScript versus trying to find it on like a newer language. I don't know if I hold too much weight on this, but it's still interesting to note.
When you think about it, it does kind of make sense. These two pairs are quite similar, but I thought I would point that out. In multi-threaded performance, we see roughly the opposite. Windows 7 performed the best here, and Windows Vista and XP getting the lowest scores. Everything else was just around the middle. Moving on to Geekbench. Now, as Windows 10 and 11 kept getting updates, it seemed that Geekbench 2 decided to stop working on these platforms, so there is going to be a Geekbench version discrepancy here. Windows XP to 8.1 are showing scores from Geekbench 2, and Windows 10 and 11 are showing scores from Geekbench 3. I know there's an opinion out there that you can cross-compare both these versions. I just don't know how that's possible with Geekbench 3 splitting the scores in two. Anyway, what can I say? Well, out of the 4 oldest operating systems, Windows Vista unexpectedly performed the best here, and Windows XP was somehow the worst, and Windows 7 and 8.1 scored very closely. As for the 2 newer operating systems, it looks like Windows 10 has the advantage here when it comes to the multi-core score, while Windows 11 has the advantage when it comes to the single-core score. Anyway, moving on to Crystal Disk Mark to compare read and write speeds across each operating system. Writing, I would say, is quite a bit less compared to reading. What I just said here is definitely the speed test. Well, one thing I learned from this video for sure: Windows 11 is one of the slowest operating systems out of every version of Windows I have used, specifically for older hardware like this. I can't confidently say this for newer hardware though. I think the big problem here is Windows 11's massive consumption of memory. There was almost a 1 GB difference in memory consumption between Windows 10 and 11. While that might not seem like a lot on machines with 16 to 32 gigabytes of memory, when you're limited with 8, losing a gigabyte of memory is quite significant. I have to say, when it comes to scores and benchmarks, we don't really see Windows 11 struggling here, or at least not that badly. It's when we get to practical real-world tests.
I think that's a great point. That's a great point, and something maybe like to even close off on. Hardware is the secret to this. So essentially, if you're making software that requires new hardware, I think you kind of lost the scope here, and it's kind of building without thinking about future intention, and it's kind of like making fast technology. Why aren't we optimizing hardware to be more proficient with the software of the future? The fact that older hardware pieces are somehow doing better with the more rigid and form-fitting software of the past than the newer software on the old hardware. That seems crazy, because I feel like you would almost always use that as a benchmark. You would never create something new that isn't working as good as at least the previous one. So how did you come up with this new one? And furthermore, what made you keep pushing it? Well, there are such thing as, when you talk about the two relative versions of how we deal with exponential movement of data, is either the medium or the speed, and there's a hard limit, speed of light, right? For that, so we can only make the hardware better. Making the hardware better should always be the focal point. But this is a great little video and a great little synopsis and drive of it. MicroSlop really needs to get back to its core of making its interface more user friendly and more user prevalent. This AI infatuation, the fact that it's using 1 gigabyte above average and above bars says enough. We have to get away from it. It's too much at this point. It's just too much. But that's my opinion. I'll leave the video in here. Shout out to the creator. Make sure you guys go support them. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you on the other side. Yeah. Ooh. He said big back activity. That's a bar. Ugh. That's a bar.